And welcome to Bonhill, largest of the villages and towns of the Vale of Leven. This is our sole foray across the Clyde in this final season of Forgotten Towns, and at least that gave me an excuse to enjoy the views from the Erskine Bridge. Whether it would have been a key port of call in Dunbartonshire if, unlike me, you weren't on a ridiculous completist mission, is perhaps moot. But I am, and so here I am. Let's look around.
Bonhill, Dunbartonshire, population 9,050, rank number 988.
So yes, if you are on the tourist trail, then, even if you eschewed nearby Loch Lomond, the southern shore of which is a mere couple of miles up the road, in favour of some town bagging, then you might more likely be drawn to historic Dumbarton or the refined gentility of nearby Helensburgh. But as anyone following these podcasts will be aware, any intersection between these towns, selected merely on population size as the largest 1,000 in the UK, which I've not previously been to, and places which a tourist may actually wish to visit, is purely coincidental. And this time around, that intersection equates to what a mathematician might refer to as the empty set. We have arrived at the closest I can find to a focal point in Bonhill, which is here adjacent to the parish church, Rossi's Fish and Chicken Bar, and McCarroll's MOT Centre, all of which, perhaps unsurprisingly for a Sunday lunchtime, look decidedly shut. I did come here via a not-so-scenic route which took in the unvarying swathes of uninspiring post-war housing estates built to accommodate overspill from Glasgow. I have also discovered elsewhere that most of old Bonhill, apart from a few sandstone villas from the turn of last century, were also swept away at that time. The church, however, seems to be the sole significant survivor, so let us at least take an external tour of that. Solid granite edifice, symmetrical, turreted square tower. Church is not big, but it's of imposing height, apparently constructed in the second half of the 19th century to replace a smaller 18th century church that existed here before. Church has a capacious churchyard, but beyond the perimeter of that, it's all 60s and 70s flats and terraces. We're on the banks of the Leavin here, and over the other side you can see a lot of rather grim 1970s apartment buildings and terraces of their own, which actually make Bonhill side look rather nice by comparison. Interestingly though, Alexandria, well, that town, named after local 18th century landowner Alexander Smollett, who may or may not have had anything to do with the Treasure Island character of the same name, occupies the opposite bank. Not in the top 1,000 towns. No podcast for you, Alexandria. Though I did take a detour via there en route, not least because Vitruvius and Diogenes both claimed that its library was, and I quote, great, especially under the head librarianship of Aristophanes of Byzantium. I have to say, it looked rather smaller than I expected, although the locals over that side are maybe slightly smug about the fact that they still have the lion's share of local amenities. In Bonhill, meanwhile, there appears to be one slightly depressing-looking bar, a pharmacy, 2 convenience stores, and the only 21st century building I could find, a primary school. It would be remiss not to mention that before the modern blandness, Bonhill originally grew as a textile town and still boasts some fairly sizable light industry. Famous-ish sons include novelist Tobias Smollett of the aforementioned local landowning family and Sir John Pender, pioneer of transatlantic telegraph cables. And there is also time for a quick email from Mr. Webb Jones of Dubai Marina, who asks whether this season we'll continue to visit the native towns of indie poppers Belle and Sebastian after Stuart Murdoch's Clarkston, Stevie Jackson's Erskine, and now Stuart David's Alexandria. And the answer is no, it was complete coincidence. Good night.
I'm sorry, you'll soon be leaving this town.
I've gotta leave old
Bonhill
town, and that leaving's gonna get me down.